Hi folks, David Waring here again with InformedTrades.com and today's lesson of the day. In yesterday's lesson we introduced the concept of position sizing, an important yet often overlooked aspect of trading and money management. In today's lesson we're going to begin to look at some of the different strategies that traders use to determine their position size so you can hopefully integrate some of these into your own trading and increase your chances for success. So let's get started.
Okay, so as we discussed briefly in yesterday's lesson, many traders make the mistake of choosing an arbitrary number such as one contract or 100 shares of a stock to trade when they first enter the market. In addition to the fact that this doesn't consider the amount of capital a trader has at his or her disposal, it also doesn't take into account the fact that the dollar value as well as the volatility characteristics of one contract or 100 shares of stock or any standardized amount is going to vary greatly. Like a poker player who bets the same amount on every hand, this also does not allow a trader the flexibility to trade bigger on trades with a higher probability of success and smaller on trades with a lower probability of success. So let's take a quick example here. Let's say there's a trader who has trading capital of $10,000. And this trader buys 100 shares of a $20 stock, which fluctuates on average 5% per day. Okay, so this is a $2,000 position, 100 times 20, which moves $100 per day, the 5% of that 2,000 on average. Okay, this represents a 1% daily account fluctuation on average as a result of this purchase here. Okay, now let's say the same trader buys 100 shares of a $30 stock, which fluctuates 2% per day. This is a $3,000 position, so a bigger position, but a position that only moves $60 per day in relation to the smaller position that the trader took with the first stock, but because of the increased or the greater volatility with that stock, 5% versus 2% here, he's moving $100 on average of his account based on that first stock, and only 60 on average of his account based on the second stock. Okay, so you can see here that this only represents a 0.6% daily account fluctuation on average. So you've got between these two stocks, you've got 1.6 daily account 1.6% daily account fluctuation on average, but the first stock accounting for a much larger percentage of that 1.6% daily fluctuations. And most traders wouldn't even consider that, or at most they would probably consider the $3,000 position being the larger position in the account. And when you look at it from a volatility standpoint, you can see here that it's actually the $2,000 position that is putting more of the account at risk. Okay, and also has a greater chance on the flip side of that for potential profit based on the average volatility there. So with this in mind, the next level of sophistication up from that of just picking an arbitrary number such as one contract is trading a standard size such as one contract or 100 shares of stock for every certain fixed amount of money. Okay, so an example here, trader starts with $10,000. Is very good and is able to trade that up to $20,000 trading one contract. So he trades one contract on his $10,000, and then when he reaches $20,000 he begins to trade two contracts. So basically the trader strategy here is he's going to trade one contract or 100 shares of stock or whatever it may be for every $10,000 in his account. Okay, now while this is better or more rational than the arbitrary example that we looked at in our last slide, as Dr. Van K. Tharp points out in his book Trade Your Way to Financial Freedom, there's several distinct disadvantages to using this method. Okay, the first disadvantage is what we've already looked at, is that not all investments or not all financial instruments are alike. And like we looked at, 100 shares of a $10 stock which moves 5% a day is not going to be the same as trading 100 shares of a $10 stock that moves 1% a day. Now, similar to that, different stocks obviously have different values. So $100 or 100 shares of a $50 stock is going to be a lot more than 100 shares of a $10 stock. And similarly, different futures contracts have different dollar values. So one contract of corn is maybe worth more than one contract of oil, or whatever it may be. Okay. Second is it doesn't allow you to increase your exposure rapidly with small amounts of money. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to look at in coming lessons is the concept of when you want to increase your position size as the position moves in your favor. Okay, and this method does not allow you to do that. And number three is you're always going to take a position even when the risk is too high. So you aren't factoring in some of the things that we've looked at in previous lessons with this model. You're always going to take a position, and on top of that, you're always going to take the same size position regardless of what the probability of success of that trade is. So it doesn't allow you to decrease your trade size when the probability of success is lower and increase your trade size when the probability of success is higher. So as you can hopefully see from from this information, while the fixed position size per dollar amount is better than simply picking a number out of thin air, there are many disadvantages to this method. In tomorrow's lesson, we're going to begin to look at some of the different ways of overcoming these disadvantages, starting with a discussion of the martingale and anti-martingale position sizing strategies. So we hope to see you in that lesson. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And good luck with your trading.